Hey guys, before we get into the full video today, I just wanted to talk really quickly about the fact that I did a thing. I wrote a fucking book. I wrote this book over the pandemic. I had like nothing to do. I like lost everything and I decided to write a book. And it's called Transitions: How to Navigate Through the Changes of Life. And in the book, I believe we got like 8 chapters. Okay, it's about 100 pages long, or 10 chapters, and it's basically what I created to be like a step-by-step helpful guide, and also shares a little bit about my personal story with nofap and the things that I've learned over the past 4 years. It's definitely something that I want to kind of release out there. I'm really proud of myself for doing it, and basically I'm just here to kind of introduce that idea to you guys. So I don't know if I want to put it up for market. I was thinking about doing maybe a few bucks for an ebook, or I can definitely ship it out to people. If it interests you at all, just let me know down below. But otherwise, enjoy the video. What's up, boys? So I haven't made a video in a minute. I've just been focused on other things for the time being, but I did see that there's still views coming in on these videos. I still see the subscriber count going up. I've seen some people comment, and it really does mean a lot when that happens. So thank you very much. That's what motivates me to keep making videos. The most important thing with this channel is to update on my progress and to document the journey so that it can help you solve any of the problems that you are facing in your journey. So yeah, we're at well over 90 days, and a lot has happened since the last video. A lot has happened over the past 90 days. I have been trying to get to 90 days for like 7 months. So I've just been constantly relapsing over 7 months before I got to 90 days. And it feels really good to finally get over there. But I will say that in some ways I did relapse, but I did not relapse with like fapping or PMO. I did it with a girl and another person. So I want to talk a little bit about the differences between the fapping release and the actual intercourse release, because they're definitely different on every single level. So let's acknowledge the fact that every guy that's doing nofap wants to get more girls. I actually think there's a big problem in the nofap community, the red pill community, the men that go their own way community, where they kind of talk about how just how evil women are and how evil girls are, and you kind of make this big deal of oh, I don't even want to talk to girls, I don't even want to get laid, and none of that. You're lying to yourself. Everybody wants to get laid. We're programmed to want to get laid. You just don't know how to do it, and so it becomes more stressful than it is actually worth. Well, Papa's gonna teach you guys something. Nah, but for real. Let's kind of go into first the update of nofap itself. So, haven't watched anything. I have been very diligent on that. If you go to my Instagram Explore page, you're not going to see anything provocative. I literally unfollowed all pretty much most women on my Instagram page. If you show your ass, show your titties, I will just unfollow you, because it's pointless. It's pointless content. It just provokes me to do something stupid, and it's pointless. It's just on my phone. I'm not even looking for it. So that's I think the biggest tip that I can give is just make sure that you don't accidentally come across it as much as possible. I really wanted to put an effort and an intention into socializing more, into putting myself out there more with women, and putting myself out there in situations in which I can find a partner, or find multiple partners would be even better. And that is how you quit the fapping, right? That's how you quit, because you've replaced it with something else. The thing is that obviously semen retention and nofap, it's all good for you, but a lot of the people that talk about semen retention and they talk about all the benefits of the semen retention, my curiosity and my question to that is, are you benefiting from semen retention, or are you benefiting from removing yourself from toxic situations? There's been a lot of the times where people talk about semen retention, and they talk about some of the situations that they've been in, that they've had to do in order to get sex and such. But I believe that if you are in your masculine frame, and like if you follow AMS, you be in your masculine frame, you do your thing, you focus on yourself, you go to the gym, you try to improve yourself, you do all that stuff that everybody talks about, I think eventually things will start to kind of work itself out. But of course, there is a component of game that has to be learned. And I would say like the biggest component of game, and this is something that I've learned from a childhood friend of mine who has always just killed it with girls, never had a problem with girls, always got hot girls. It was always something that I kind of like envied, or even, I do, of course, there is a part of that has that envy, jealousy, but there's also a part that like made me look up to him for that reason. It was a really cool thing because, well, I didn't really think that he had a lot of game at all. In fact, he did nothing. And that was kind of like his key. He would just do nothing. He saw a hot girl, he didn't do anything. He, he didn't even want to talk to girls. That's the thing. He just was him. He just was present and he just did his thing. And when girls found him attractive, they put themselves in his way. And that's kind of what happens. That's the dynamic that is. One of the things that you have to really acknowledge nowadays, but this has always been a thing, women, what is it? There's like a little saying. It's like 80% of women chase the top 20% of men, while 80% of guys are fumbling around for that 20% of women. Because a girl would rather be with like a masculine guy who has his shit together, who's like successful, all that, and is like an alpha male. She would rather share that guy with 6 other girls than be with some like loser, be with some like wimp, really. So what happens is that it's almost like a Pandora's box. It's like there's like a paradox in it. Like you can't really just have one girl. Like it's either you have 0 or you have multiple, because women are attracted to what is desirable. If a girl thinks that you have options and a girl thinks that there's other girls getting with you, and she also likes you, that doesn't absolutely rule you out as a partner. And we know that because we've seen it so many times, whether it's celebrities, whether it's our friends' relationship or our parents, whatever the case is that women cheat. Women will cheat on you with guys that said that they weren't a problem. Oh, that guy at work, no, that's, of course, I would never do that. But meanwhile, she's getting banged out because that's just what they're attracted to, and they can't control themselves. I mean, you have to think, like, a lot of you guys, even if you're in relationships, if some dime comes up to you and basically is like, I want to suck your dick, you're gonna say no? Especially if she's being like really flirty, really feminine with you. Like, some of you might say no. That's fine. And maybe you're actually attracted to your wife. If you say no, you're probably actually attractive to your wife. If you're not attracted, there's a lot of people that date that aren't actually attracted to their partners because basically it's both people can't do any better. So they just get together and they make this like fucking bullshit relationship that doesn't actually do anything. All you're really doing it for is to kind of just fulfill each other's ego, have sex with each other, get your nuts, and eventually it becomes a problem down the road. And so there is a sense of like patience and calm since doing this nofap. Like, you really start to see how fucking just disgustingly bad PMO is for you when you start reaching like 90 days. Because I feel like I might actually be like at 100 or something like that. I actually don't really know the exact day. We'd have to look back at the first video I posted, because that's when I was like day 1 or day 2. But there's, especially at like the 90-day mark, I felt that there was a sense of like letting go of like PMO. Like there was a moment of like, I don't even really crave it anymore. Like I feel like it's starting to leave my neurological wiring. And I believe that that's giving me, that itself, that time just away has benefited me so much in social circumstances, because obviously I've become a lot more motivated to actually put myself out there, which you naturally are going to want to do once you start hopping off PMO, right? Because your body, you're human, you're naturally going to try to put yourself in situations where you're socializing more. That's just what's going to happen. Your brain is going to try to just point you in the right direction. It's pretty cool. Excuse me. Ooh, Corona. No, but yeah. So there is this less of a craving towards it and less of a desiring, where I actually want to have intercourse. And I don't think there's anything wrong with that. I think, like anything, if you were doing like no intercourse because you wanted to free yourself from having sex all the time, I think that's a great thing. But for us people that are doing nofap, it doesn't count as a relapse. It's not a relapse. And it's a totally different feeling and vibe. Like if you just beat off by yourself, I mean, it's literally depressing. Like your brain pretty much thinks it had a partner, but in actuality, you're just like sitting alone in your like dark circle with fucking your own juice on you, and you have to clean it up. And you're just like, this is like so empty and hollow. But when you're with somebody, it's kind of like, at the end, it's like, fuck yeah, like I fucking worked for that. Like you have to actually like put a little bit of an intention behind it. Back to what I was, sorry, I got a little bit on a tangent, but back to what I was saying before about like doing nothing and stuff like that, and that being like a really powerful thing. Well, like I said, with nofap, I've become a lot more patient, a lot more calm, a lot more understanding. I give less of a fuck about the little bullshit drama that happens. I really crave more of just like a peace and doing what I got to do and doing what I want to do, and that's that. And I try not to put too much attention into women. And so what I mean by nothing is that he literally does nothing. He doesn't think about them. He doesn't look at them. He doesn't do anything. He doesn't do anything. He just entirely enjoys himself, and they throw themselves at him, and he doesn't even like really go after it that much. Obviously to an extent of like, if a girl's like trying to talk to you and stuff, yeah, like he obviously does have a degree of game that he's developed over time, where basically the idea is to not validate them, don't simp for them, don't compliment them, don't touch them, don't do anything sexual, don't talk about anything sexual. You literally talk to them like a friend, and you like just don't get all. And listen, I've been there. I can't even make fun of you. Like, I've been the goofball. I've actually recently just made a mistake where I was being too goofy because I was drinking, and I winded up losing a chance on getting with a hot girl because I didn't just stay calm in my masculine frame. But I recognized what happened, and me and my friend, we made a lot of jokes about it, and I winded up actually hooking up with another girl, and I was a lot more calm about it. As far as like specifics, as far as what was said and all that, I'm gonna leave that up to wonder. Maybe one day I will talk a little bit more specifically about the game that's involved, but I think that without the foundational skills, learning game is pointless, because if you're just trying to like get more ass because you're just like, I gotta just bust that nut, you're not gonna be able to even like pay patient enough with the woman. You almost need to tell yourself like, I don't want to bang them. Like you literally need to like trick yourself in a way. Well, not trick yourself, but you're literally, remember, like we talked about in another video too, like you're rewiring that hypersexuality, that part of you that's just like, that part that's like just nuts in 5 seconds or whatever the case is. Like there's, that part needs to become under control, because you basically, I mean, obviously you want to have like a good time with a girl so she wants to come back, or you just want to have a good time for yourself as well. You know, you don't want to just nut in 5 seconds. That's like boring. Or maybe you have another problem where you can't even get it up because your brain is so messed up from watching watching the prom to, actually just trying to get it up with a regular girl, especially if it's like, like a 7 or 8 and it's not like amazing, but she's like cute to you, there's definitely that like fine line. And I kind of want to just like wrap up this part of like on this nofap journey. What I really want to get out there is just like don't be afraid to fail, and don't be afraid to like lose. Like for instance, like I've failed with girls and gotten rejected so many times over the past 90 days. And then now that I've like secured the lay, first off, it was way more satisfying because I actually had to put effort and work into it. But I also feel more confident about like talking with other women as well, and being like more social and not being afraid so much. Like, you know, obviously on nofap, maybe we got wrapped up into prom because of just like these traumatic events that happened. You know, we really got to find out, like, why are we engaging ourselves into this hypersexuality? Like, why can't we just like calm down, relax, and have less stress and be more calm? We have to actually like dig deep into those feelings. A big thing that really helped me kind of do that, well, I believe working out and exercising are some of the most important things that you need to do, especially on nofap. If you're a guy, you're gonna have all this testosterone raging. You've got to find a way to bring that out, and there's a lot of different ways to do that. For me, I think one of the best things for us nofappers is to get into martial arts. It solves a lot of problems that the nofappers go through. It solves a socializing problem. It solves like a lack of family problem. It solves boredom. It gives you something to do with people that are encouraging, and that puts you in a situation where you're learning a technical skill, and it's a lot of fun because you can actually see your progress unfold. Now, obviously, you got to go to the right place wherever is by you. So that's definitely something that you would want to research. But basically, the martial arts that I'm talking about is like Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu, boxing, kickboxing, Muay Thai, wrestling, judo, sambo, these type of like actual martial arts that have like live rolling, and they actually like pressure test the techniques, and it's actually like a little bit tough. I think those things are really beneficial. I think there's martial arts, of course, like karate and taekwondo, and there's all these forms and shit. Yeah, I mean, have fun with that. I'm not really into that too much. A big thing I've also recently been into, like over the past couple, maybe like the past month or so, has been yoga. I've been going to these hot yoga classes, and there's obviously tons of women there, which is always a lot of fun. So what's great about that is I don't really do anything. I'm not trying to like mac or hit on anybody, but I just kind of be there. And firstly, even if I don't get with anybody, it's fine, but it normalizes just being around women. The thing is that when you're doing it, it's so tough. You're so concentrated on what you're doing that you're not really like checking girls out. Like I don't really feel like that. Obviously, I think it takes like a level of courage to go in there as a guy, because you know there's gonna be these girls in here, but then it's time to put in the work like everybody else, and you gotta sweat your ass off for 75, 90 minutes, however long that you do it. So, and it's also just been a lot of fun. The people there are really nice, and I think it's a good way to, again, like get yourself out of the fucking house, get yourself out of the house, go do something, go talk to people, go put yourself out there into the world. The more you get out of your house, the more you get out of your shell, the more comfortable you become with just being around people, the better off you're gonna be. Even if you fail, even if you do something completely stupid, if you can go back and reflect back on what you did and learn from your mistakes, you're gonna be better than you were. And when you see that progression, when you get rejected, but then you get like a little glimpse of like a girl likes you, your confidence increases over time. And then you might get rejected a bunch, but you don't let it stop you, because you have other things in your life to kind of help you maintain that confidence, right? Like if a girl likes you and you don't really have anything going on, your confidence goes up. And then if she, for whatever reason, dips out, now your confidence may be even lower. But if you're like working out, you're doing all these things, and then a girl likes you, it's kind of like, oh, well, that's a really good feeling. And then if something happens, you kind of just stay there. You've maintained a slightly higher stature of confidence, because what happens is you take the confidence that you've gotten from that little hit of a girl liking you or looking at you or whatever, and then you put that confidence like, hey, that girl looked at me today, I feel really good about that. And then all of a sudden you're working out with a little bit more swagger, or you're going to your job with a little more swagger, or you're going to school with a little more swagger. Then you make a little more money, or maybe you get into have like a really good business conversation, or whatever the case is. Like, you just all of a sudden start having like a really, really good time. And you know, it's that confidence starts to leak out into other areas of your life. So it's obviously a journey. It's pretty crazy how it's like only been 90 days and so much I feel like has happened. I mean, these are crazy times. I mean, is it easy? Like, no, man, it's not easy. This is like one of the most difficult things that I've ever had to do in my life. And I think it's the most difficult thing that anybody could do in their life, to be honest. You know, you really want to test someone's fucking willpower and you test their mental strength. Have you just sit with a boner for 4 hours at night? Like that type shit. Like you make every excuse to relapse. It's like, how bad do you want it? I mean, you gotta really, when I want to relapse, I think about the last time that I relapsed and just, I literally can feel the shame and the sorrow that happens after, the disappointment in putting all that work in for your streak and for all the benefits, and you just kind of lose it. I mean, let's be honest. There is a degree where you lose benefits when you relapse. Yeah, absolutely you do. Yeah, hell yeah you do. You lose a bunch of benefits. You lose that confidence. It does go down for sure. And I think what the key is to figure out what is it about your life situation that's like making you super hooked on it and making you go into those urges, and learning how to deal with the urges. Meditate, exercise, toughen yourself up a little bit, boys and girls. You got to toughen yourself up a little bit. I think that's the biggest journey of this. But anyway, guys, that's going to be the end of the video. It's been really awesome coming back on and making a video. I hope you guys are all doing well. Let me know how your journey is going down below. It could influence the next video. We'd love to try to have a conversation. Let's try to help each other out, get through these tough times. And I will see you very soon.